Hey, it's Hollywood down at Jack Rabbit's Barbers again. I'm here with my man Rob, and we're going to be doing a haircut and a beard trim on him today. So we want to obviously get this a little stronger here, so we'll clean up the line here, but also underneath here as well. Actually give you a bit of a jawline because it's all a bit lost at the minute. It's all kind of a bit too wavy and crazy. So we'll cut that all down, but try and preserve some of the length on it as well. So actually you've got a nice beard, and it's not just going to be a stubble, it's still a beard. Clean up the tash area and just make it look sharper, cleaner, to tie in with a nice haircut. What kind of grade on the sides would you want me to do? Do you want it? Two-ish. Two-ish, yeah. We always say 2, and it's always going to be blended down or tapered down a little bit shorter, but I'll start with a 2, and then keep this, again, hand cut all of that choppy, messy, and over to the side so you can sweep it nice and easy. Awesome. Let's get you shampooed and washed and have you back here in 5. So it's not ideal to cut hair when it's wet with the clippers really, but we had to wash it just because it was so greasy. So I'm just cutting in my base really. I'm just getting a lot of too much excess hair cut down before we start refining. Just hand cutting a bit of this higher ridgeline out, but I will clipper over comb this as well. But I just want to see how it's going to start sitting and know what its hair's like and how it springs up. So I just want to cut in a bit of a profile again with the scissors first. Just being quite rough at the minute because I don't need to be too precise with this bit. This is my canvassing out area. Get rid of bulky hair. So when I go through the middle of the head, I'm just cutting in my profile so that I can then cut to my profile line on the sides and throughout the rest of the top of the head. This gives me a bit of a guide. No right or wrong way about doing it. Some people just like to pick up the hair. Whoa. Pick up the hair. Dropsies. And just cut straight through. I like to cut to a guide. So I'm just going to clip over comb now to get this bit tighter on the higher ridge line. But what I'm doing is I'm angling out my clipper comb. So I'm going in to where my grade 2 is, and I'm just angling it out just to, it's not a grade 2 all the way to the top, it's going to be a softer blend and transition. But we want to get it quite tight just because his hair will just explode straight out. It's actually quite difficult when you get in the shape in here to not go too far in, but not to leave it too far out. If you go in too far out, it will just in a week's time explode. So we need to create the shape, but make sure that it's not just too high and tight. It's important to check your work, not just do it and rely upon it just being done. Keep checking it, step back, look in the mirrors. Use those as a guide to how it's taking shape, how it's coming out. This is the 2-ish that I'm doing, so I'm just tapering it down to a bit of a 1 because as you see 2 is almost a bit too chunky. It won't grow out as nice if you don't taper it down, so I prefer to, just on my style of haircuts, like to taper most things down. So if they can mainly ask for a 2, that's all cool, but I'll just taper the neckline in a little bit shorter and around the edges. Then I flick it up so it's a bit of a 1.5 and just go up into the 2, just so it's tapered out. Using just the edge of my clipper to go around the ears so it sort of tapers it out again. So I'm not going fully in with my 1, doing a whole lot, I'm just going around the edges at an angle. So this part is cutting the hair, but this part isn't. And I might just on the very bottom bits bring that down and tape that in a bit shorter, open it back up. When I'm working with finer hair like this as well, you've got to be really careful to make sure your hands are actually clean before you touch the head, because if you've got greasy, oily hands, it's going to really grease up the hair a lot, because it doesn't take much for finer hair to be greased up. So make sure your hands are clean for a start when you're doing hand cuts or any scissor work on a client with finer hair. How much shorter would you like to go on that fringe?
Brush it up for me so I can see it all. It's a bit light.
A bit more.
Only a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, we're sort of getting there with it, not far off it. No worries, I'll keep point cutting into it, just so you've got the texture throughout it as well. So I'm just spinning my client around in the chair so I can check myself in the mirror. It gives me a different angle to look at the haircut with, and I can see what's going on and what it's doing. Is there any areas I need to work on?
And also what she had done before. Keratin. Just ask her, I think she contacted Frankie. Just ask her to ping her a message saying she's
Well, I've point cut the haircut, but I'm just going through it with some texturizers just to give it a bit of extra texture. Loosen it up a little bit, stop it from clumping up too much.
So New Year's, I wore a shirt, nice shirt, looked great, it's buttoned right the way to the top, tie on.
You don't always necessarily want to be using thinners on finer hair, but what you can do is use some texturizers which have slightly bigger gaps in the teeth a bit, just to break it up.
January 1st, mate, fitted perfect.
And I just sort of work through half up to the tips.
How quick as well. I haven't
Want to know what to do with a beard like this. So as you can see, there's all this extra hair around here, so we just need to take that in and give that some shape and some love, and tie it into the actual haircut as well, so blend this into the haircut, so it's not like it's completely disconnected and it's a lot longer than the rest of your hair now. It's gone down to grade 2. We want to taper that into the beard so it gives it a nice transition from the haircut into the beard. I always look at silhouettes when I'm looking at my beards as well, so depending on the hairstyle and what kind of thing they've got going up on top here, I will start looking at the beard and the shape of that. So because we've gone quite tight and clean on the very sides of the head, I want to mimic that on the side of my beard, but then also with the top of the hair, it's quite long and we've given it a messy look. I want to silhouette that and make this a little bit longer, or keep this a bit more longer down here, so make sure it's not just a one length all over beard, but it's actually got some shape to the beard. So let's lean your back, I think, first. So initially I'm just going to brush it out and pop a shape in there. So I'm going to go with my comb and figure out like where his neck is. Sometimes you want them to really stretch it up, so make sure that they're comfortable, but also, you know, that neck is lifted right up. You can't do it in their heads all down and underneath, so you want to really make sure to lean your head up a little bit. That's it. Really stretch that neck out so I can see exactly his neck shape and what he's got going on. I'm just going to put my initial beard shape line in here, get rid of all that scraggliness. So what I'm doing is I'm putting my comb in and I'm going to elevate it out, so my pivot point is here. So that's going to be shorter up here and longer down here, and that will just give me a little bit of an idea of a taper. So I'm going to take off the hair there and bring it out so this bit's longer and this bit is shorter. That gives me a nice bit of taper, so it keeps this area along here longer with this being shorter. And I can use the comb to go across with my clippers to clean up and taper that in, and then I'll freehand any of the scraggly bits that start sticking out, which we'll go through a bit later. And on this side, I'm going to just do the same again, try and find out where that is. This is sort of not really working, it's not looking great, so we're going to get that straight off there, put my comb in as a guide, and I can just bash all of that hair off. Start cleaning that up. Again, I'm going to use my pivot point. This side I'm going to go that way. Pivot point's up here. Taper in, get that hair gone. I can bring it around this way as well. So I'm not cutting directly into it, but I'm bringing it all round to the side. So this hair here is not all going to go really short. It's going to keep longer, but just clean up that line there, and then we can bash that out there. Work on the tash a little bit. So with this tash and this beard, just going to comb it all down and see where it lays, see how it sits. It's quite bushy, you don't need it all there, especially on this lip line here, so I'm just going to go in my little detailers to get that hair just off with the lip. And then I'll probably go with my comb. I can see there's just too much hair here, so go with my comb, use that as my guide and go along. Just get that a little bit shorter and neater. Dust that off. Then you have that weird transition bit here, which if he's not going to twiddle it out or doesn't want to do much with it, then we need to get that cleaner and blend that into the beard. So we're etching around it. And again, I use my comb as a guide to just brush all that hair out. I'm going to brush that in and just trim off the edges of it. You can use some scissors, you can use a detailer, like there's no fast or wrong way, it depends what you prefer, what your style is. Sometimes these bits around the lips can be really a bit of a not nightmare, but just annoying for people. So I like to sometimes clean up around these little bits of the lips here, so they're not chewing into their beard every time that they take a bite of food or drinking. Right, before I do any more beard trimming on the actual beard itself, I'm just going to cutthroat the edges in basically, so it cleans up all underneath here and we clean up all on the top here, and then we give it a good old wash and a clean, and we give it a good brush once it's been washed, and I can see where I need to work on here and the rest of the beard to get that neater and tidier to my client's preference. I'm going to start with using a pre-shave oil. So I always like to use pre-shave oils just because it's nice and relaxing. It's good for the actual blade to glide on the skin as well. And we just rub that all into here. Nice and relaxing as well, this one. If they're coming from an oven, check that the temperature's okay on your inner, by your hand. And pop that straight on your client. This is just a shaving gel. I've only just started recently using them, but I think when you're lining up, it's a little bit easier to actually use, so you can actually see where you're lining up to. When I shave underneath on the necklines, I'll always shave with the hair growth to start with, get it as short as possible before you ever start shaving against it. Some people don't like to shave against it, so you just go with, but if their skin's up for it and you want to get it a bit closer, you can start shaving against the hair growth. And you'll notice, like, in most people, there's always one side that might start growing a different way, so actually this side I will shave down first because that's like a little whirl there, it's all going in different directions. So I'm just going to blow dry the beard all down. I'm going to cut more off the beard because I still think it's a little bit too long in places, but because it's all wet, I just need to make sure it's all dry, straighten it all out. So I'm just using a medium heat just to go through it all. Get underneath, make sure it is all dry, get it all clean and tidy. So I'm going to seesaw my, this bit here is still too long up here, so what I'm going to do is I'm brushing it down, sort of giving a seesaw action, getting the hair, scooping it around, and that area there, I'm just going to get that a tiny bit short, just so it gives it a little bit of a smoother finish, without taking too much of the hair out. You can go right up to the line that you've just created, blend that in, a free hand down. So I'm just blow drying his hair because when he sits back on the pad he just gets a bit of bedhead on the back, so spray down a bit of water and give it another blow dry. When you've got finer hair, you almost want to use more mattifying and more water-based products rather than oil-based, because obviously it just goes super greasy. So anything matte, natural, mineral-based is the best. But I'm just keeping it choppy, messy everywhere. How's that feel? Yeah.
Be from there.
New bloke, eh? And the beard as well.
never ask him to do something.
Nice from this angle, nice from that angle.
Nothing off the bit.
Cool. Happy?
Sweet. Very happy.
It left me like it was a lot.
Nice.
Beardbrand is a premium men's grooming company with products not only for your beard, but also your hair and body. Do yourself a favor and head over to beardbrand.com and take care of yourself. Or you can stick around and watch a few more of our awesome videos.